Oh boy, I just bought a house with my girlfriend, closed last month. We share ownership, although I make at least 2/3 of the household income. We're now separated and will not be getting back together. Both still living in the home. What do we do with the house? We bought it for 390,000 and put 5% down. How much do we need to sell it for and not be losing money with all the associated fees, etc.? Or are there other creative ideas? Not in search of a relationship advice. LOL. If you're going to go into ownership with someone that the courts won't make the decision what you do with it, you should have some sort of an agreement together prior to that and state exactly what you're going to do if it doesn't work out and who's going to take it and who's going to pay it off.
Any business arrangement of any kind, have an exit strategy on the front end that you both agree to. Then it's simple and it's easy. You follow the rules. You can be amicable. For an example, like you both still live there. Well, because it's not easy to find a place to live while you're still paying your mortgage. The thing is that first of all, how much do we have to sell for to get out of it? Well, that's not the right approach to it. I would say, what's it worth? First of all, you're gonna have to look at, is it worth more? I'm assuming it is. Figure what the actual market value is for that home to get you the best terms, the best conditions, the best price. Now, on the other hand, what if it's not worth what it was when you bought it? What if you're in an area where all of a sudden the houses are slowly declining, which I'd find hard to find in today's market. But if it was, then you have to come up with alternatives. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to split the debt? Or when you sell the property, are you going to try to sell it yourselves? What are you going to do to get out of that mess? But the first thing I would do is I don't know if you agree with this, Chris, maybe start with having an agent or two come out there, give you an estimated evaluation of the property values. So you have at least one or two to compare from. If you're broken up but you're amicable with each other, that is a big step forward. But if you're not, then just say, hey, why don't we both have a real estate agent come out for both of us so we can, and then let's compare notes on who has the best, and then maybe even bring in a third person that's independent that can help you guys establish a value. Decide, do you have the skill set to sell it yourselves to save the money because maybe you have to, or can you afford to sell it with an agent, or do you both want an agent to sell it? Because that might add to the stress. If you're both trying to break up and one of you is trying to sell it, and then one of you thinks that they did more of the selling than you did, and it can create another fight. So maybe it is an agreement that you make that we both agree to hire a professional to sell it.
I think, Andy, you hit on all of that stuff perfectly. If we had to go to that person and tell them, though, hey, what is it going to take? You're probably at 425 to try to get out of there unscuffed, we'll say. I think there's other ways in which to do it. I mean, talk to each other. One or the other want to do it. Basically, you could quit claim your interest over. There's a problem with the mortgage then. If you're both on the mortgage and your name's on it, it's going to hurt you for qualifying later. If the person who you quit claimed your interest, which basically means, hey, it's yours, it's not mine, it's all yours, that mortgage goes bad or they make missed payments on that, it's going to affect your credit rating. Sometimes, even if it's worth 400 and it's going to cost you 15,000 to get out of, it's worth it paying the 15,000 and chalk it up to, I should have had an agreement before I got into this place.
It is unromantic to say, hey, if we ever break up, what are we going to do? But on the other hand, blame your parents or blame, your brother or sister.
Your realtor.
Say, hey, they told me that we should really have an exit strategy here.
Your realtor should be bringing that up. I bring it up every time. I say, yeah. Hey, we know
what if one of the two of them passes away? Yeah. Then what is the, then what?
You got
Does the other one just get it?
It's just a good conversation to have. And for someone else to be able to bring it up. I had that one time where the client asked me to bring it up, but it was this was a case of the one person was doing all the buying, but this person was going to be in on it. And I said, you just want to make sure that they know exactly, because it was her. She was actually going to give some money towards the down payment.
Yeah. And I mean, and there's lots of ways for them to protect their interest in that property. They can file a lien against that property for the amount that they deposited, for an example. But that gets dangerous too, because if in the future you break up and they want their money back and they start foreclosing on you to get their money back out versus, I had one of my clients in the past made the mistake, honest mistake, of saying, well, you put a deposit on the house too. We're in a relationship. You put 20,000 down. Let's put you on the deed. And then when they broke up, he was on vacation and got locked out of the house, and then never was allowed back into the house that he had in his name and actually originally, and had the mortgage on the property. But because she was on the deed, she was allowed to lock him out of the house, and said she had equitable title and blah, blah, blah. And it was a fight. And you can't just kick people out. Very careful when you sign things.
Same thing, actually, Chris and I did. When we bought our first house together, I had owned a house prior to that, got the money out of it, very little money. She had a lot of money. We both qualified for it, but we never signed anything. Obviously, we ended up getting married. We're still married, but that it can cause a problem. So it's just best to get past the old, oh my gosh, you don't trust me. We're not going to get married. Are you cheating on me? What are you doing? No, don't forget that. Just have it set up that you know exactly what's going to happen, and